I am waiting on a maintenance person to come fix my dryer. I say that it's more just a part that needs replacing. He said he'd be between 7 and 12. So I got up at 7, it's now 10. Still isn't here. So I thought, listen to the end of my audiobook, possibly make a video. But just my luck, knowing me, the second I tried to start this video, he's going to turn up. Let's see, shall we, if I can make it through this video. Hello everybody, welcome back. If you have not been here before, my name is Debbie and I read a lot of books. Today I have the audiobook of Little Wing by Freya North. That is your front cover. And it was read by Sophia Engstrand. This was a beautiful book. It's 12 hours and 57 minutes to listen to contemporary general and literary fiction. And let's just get in with that blurb, shall we? 1969, Florence Lawson, a 16-year-old schoolgirl who dreams of being an artist, finds herself pregnant and banished to one of the most remote parts of the UK. 1986, Dougie Munro, searching for adventure, leaves the Isle of Harris, the island of his birth, for art college and a career in London as a photographer. 2005, Nell Hartley, content with her life managing a care in the community cafe in Colchester, discovers a shocking truth about her family. Between the sprawl of London, suburban Essex and the wild, unpredictable Outer Hebrides, three lives collide and interweave as questions are asked and secrets surface. What happened to Florence? Why is Dougie now so reluctant to turn home? How can Nell make peace with the lies she's been told? Somewhere far away, the answers are hidden. Yeah, at the bottom it says it's engrossing and moving, a novel about family, identity, resilience and forgiveness and how no one is ever forgotten. So you're mainly seeing this from the point of view of Nell in 2005. I believe at the end she said, the author actually states this was actually conceptualised and written in lockdown in 2020. Yeah, the tagline is "We all belong somewhere and to someone." I must admit, of all the stories, I was mostly interested in Nell and Florence's. Dougie's felt like the secondary thing, but it does all tie together. I saw a thing that compared it as being like two families over 3 generations, and yeah, so you're mainly seeing it from Nell's point of view in the present, but it does also flash back to Florence, and then you get the occasional section from Dougie. They're very long chapters on the audiobook, and it goes between Florence, Nell and Dougie quite, I say seamlessly, to the point where sometimes you forget that you're listening to somebody else's point of view. There are times when it's not stated, you just suddenly find yourself listening to somebody else's point of view. That was the only hiccup I had while listening to this book. I was like, oh, we're not with Florence anymore. Oh, we're not with Nell anymore. We're with Dougie. That was the only little gripe I had, was that there were times when it was just like, it's on audio, so it takes you a second to realise whose story you're in. I imagine it's a lot easier to understand it when it's written. But yeah, on audio, there are times when it gets a bit confusing. Thought I'd get a notification. So let's see if we can make it through this video. You got Florence, 16, in 69. There's this boy that she likes. She goes out, she sleeps with him, first time, gets pregnant, and her family don't know how to deal with it, and so they send her to the Isle of Harris. Might have noticed Dougie in 86 leaves the Isle of Harris. So yeah, there are times when you're just, at first, you're kind of going through that thing of just like, oh, which is Florence's child? There's no getting away from that question mark, especially when you've got it set up as 69, 86 and 2005. You know one of them is going to be related to Florence. And shall I just say it? Shall I just say it? It's Nell. Nell goes through a series of emotional hard truths through this book. She has memories of her mother flipping out when she was a child and like going out shopping, her mother getting onto a bed in a superstore and then acting like she was at home and curling up and falling asleep and having to defend her mother from security, saying, oh, she's tired, it's fine, like she'll be up in a second. It's obvious the person that she knows as her mother has mental health issues, and it's never explicitly stated what those issues are. There's hints upon Alzheimer's when Nell visits her mum in a now kind of care community. a lot of the time her mum will look at her and call her Florence. So you can see where this all is heading. And Nell has no idea who Florence is. Through this, you are still getting Florence's point of view in the past. So when her mum starts calling her Florence, Nell's brain goes into overload. There's lots of questions that she is wondering about. And then she's also got her aunt as well, who she's trying to get answers from. And where all the answers start coming out has to do with a plate set that her mother, one of the plates broke. It's supposed to be a set. One of the plates broke on like the day that she got it, her mother. And when Nell finds a replacement for it, she brings it in and says, "Oh, I've completed the set again. I've completed the set again for you." And her mum's going, "No, I broke mine the first time I got it, on the day that I got it." And then she finds out from her mum's sister that there were 3 sets. And she's only aware of 2 siblings. And that's when she realises there was a 3rd sibling that she knows nothing about, who was called Florence. So yeah, then you see her travelling to the Isle of Harris. She doesn't know where she's going. She knows she needs to go to Scotland. She knows that as much. And she finds out about Florence getting pregnant at 16 and how she was sent out to Scotland. And so yeah, it turns into a bit of a travel story for Nell, trying to find out what happened to her birth mother, what happened to her real mother, as she finds out that the person that she has known to be her mother her whole life is actually her aunt. So yeah, you've got like family sagas in there. It's very emotional, pulling at your heartstrings. But it also has some genuinely funny moments in it, with the descriptions of Scotland and the Isle of Harris and everything. It's just some beautiful imagery is painted through the words of this book. It was gorgeous. But there were times I really wanted to reach through the pages of the book and hug Nell, because she's just going through so much shit as she's trying to piece together what her aunt and the woman who brought her up refused to talk to her about. And to be fair, she's not getting much out of the person she knows as her mother because of the mental health issues. And then when she finally confronts her aunt at a lecture hall, even her aunt is saying, "Oh, don't bring this up again, it's shame to the family." And you're just like, the present in this book is 2005. Like, is it really that big a deal anymore? But it's obvious that this family has just such shame over what happened with Florence getting pregnant and then sending her away. And it becomes a book about finding out what happened to Florence. And that in a way connects to Dougie's storyline, because Dougie left to go to London, and then his dad comes and says, "No, I'm taking you back to Harris." And Dougie doesn't really want to, and at the same time he's just there going, "My dad doesn't understand the fact that I can't just leave work." But eventually he comes to the point where it's just like, look, it's obvious that I just need to go back for a bit. So he goes to work and says, "Look, for family reasons, I'm going to be heading back home for like a week or something." And it's through that you find out part of Dougie's story and his father's story, and that connection to Florence and Nell. I've said quite a lot, but I haven't spoiled it, trust me. There might be a small spoiler in there in regards to putting that connection for you. But it doesn't actually take that long for you to find out, because, as I said, the majority of the book is Nell going to Scotland and trying to find out what happened to Florence. Like, she's meeting random people and saying, "Look, I know that she came out this way when she was in 69. Does anybody know of Florence Lawson?" And then there's a point when she's she's pretty much like on the money, but she doesn't realise it. And she speaks to somebody and says, "Look, I'm looking for a Florence Lawson." And you hear the inner workings of the person she's talking to saying, "I knew a Flora Buchanan, but I don't know a Lawson." And I'm just there going, oh, like, we're getting really close here, because you find out that Florence was staying with a Buchanan when she went to Harris. And so that's the point when, like, the author knows, the reader knows more than the character. And you're just there going, like, you're right on top of this right now. You're right on top of it. And you don't realise, because she feels so boxed in by the name Florence Lawson, that she never thinks about the fact that she might have gone by a slightly different name when she went to Scotland. Yeah. It is so good. It is so beautiful. As I said, you've got that kind of mystery in there of trying to piece everything together. and it was wonderful and beautiful, and heart ripped out my chest a little bit. Yeah, as I said, 12 hours 57 minutes. I was listening to it at work, and then at the moment I'm on a week off from work, so I've been listening to this on walks into town and stuff. It was just, it was beautiful. I loved it, and just seeing Nell come to terms with everything that she learns in this book, especially when you find out what happened to Florence. It's beautiful. It's heartbreaking. It's heartwarming. It gives you all the feels. And just the way it's written and the way the Isle of Harris is described in this book. It's stunning. It is absolutely stunning. So yeah, Little Wing by Freya North. Looks like we made it through the video without my guy showing up. Anyway, Little Wing, Freya North, that is your front cover. It is just gorgeous. If that sounds like your cup of tea, go for it. And now I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea. And now it's going to be up to 10:30 and I've got some hot cross buns, so I might do one of them. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and then I will see you next time with another video. Once this guy has sorted out my dryer, I am then going to go, is my mum picking me up, I think? And then we're going to go out to a shopping centre with my sister and have a bit of a mooch round. And then possibly later on today, I might be seeing The Roses with my mum at the cinema. We haven't decided yet, so yeah. It does mean though, because I've got 100 pages left of War of the Roses, the book. So can I finish that before I go out? Fingers crossed. But yeah, I love you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.